Yes, yes, I think we're in. Yes. Ah, here we are. Ooh, nice little place, look at that. We're going to get on with the fishing in a minute, but if you are buying rods for kayaks, try and make sure that the blank doesn't rub on the side of these rod holders. Kind of want the handle to go all the way through. As for the rigs today, we're using a wishbone rig on one of the rods, and we're just going to bounce about a little 3-ounce lead, no grips today. A little bit of movement with the bait, and on the other rod we've got just a single hook, all 1/0s. I'm setting up the GoPro. This is the GoPro 5. Use these Railblazer booms, they're really good if you are filming from a kayak. Recommend these ones, a little bit expensive but they are worth it. It was a cracking day today on a Saturday, and I think there's worse weather coming, so I thought I'd make the most of fishing for the place. Bit of clear water, nice and calm. The water's really clear. I drift in with the two rods. It's got quite, I've got quite light weights on there. You can see it bouncing around. It's not fixed. It might look like there's something just tugging away on there, but there's not. It's a good indication of how fast you're going as well, other than just looking at taking a point on the land. So although I've got rod rest here, I don't tend to stick the rods in it. I've got them on the deck here, like that. But I don't put the rod rests in there. Really calm and peaceful out here this morning. Just fishing down tide of a boat that's chucking out a load of bait and stuff. Don't know whether that helps, but maybe the noise of the motor puts the fish off, not sure. So I've got the rods tucked in next to my legs. I should be able to sense a half decent bite if the Plaice are here. And the idea is going to drift about a mile or so, and then I've got the hard work of working back up the tide again. And what I'll sometimes do, if the drift's a bit strong, just paddle up tide a little bit, just so the lines slack off, and then obviously the bait, or the two baits on the bottom are gonna, and then the two baits on the bottom are just gonna sit there for a bit, and then give it a little tweak with the drift. And then the other thing you need to do is have these two lines at different distances. So I'm just dropping that one down short, and then the other one's a little bit longer. Keep letting line out on that, on the braid. That way they're less likely to tangle. Another thing you can do is have a slightly heavier weight on one of the lines as well, so that they sort of move a bit differently. I just had a bite. Line's gone slack. Nothing on it. We'll wait and see if it comes back. Got something. Nice little Plaice. Look at that. GoPro shoot burst. So just the one fish at the moment. I'm just looking out at the nets. So the nets are all the way across the bay, and we've got an ebbing tide. So the idea is, before they get caught in the nets, and if they survive the nets on the way in, then hopefully I'll get them before they go back out again. Had a little rattle on this rod. Stop drifting. See what we got. Yes, I think we're in. Recording. No. Nope. Ah! I'll just plonk that straight back down again. I'll keep the camera running. It's on that rod over there. nice one. Ooh, nice little Plaice, look at that. Yeah. There he is. Such a calm day. I love it when it's like this. You see in the water there. For those of you that fish sort of down in the West Country, this is probably normal water viz, clarity. But for those of us on the south coast, this is quite rare. Beautiful, beautifully clear. See how deep that goes, but that's it. And the end of that paddle is 1.5 meters. So the end of that paddle is 6 foot. Easily going to be 20 foot viz under there. And it's the clear water that helps the Plaice sight feeders find a bait, I think, today. So after that, oh, hang on, what's that? A little bit of a bump on that rod. Got to be careful sometimes out in the kayak with this sea mist. It's just coming down a little bit. You can see over there in the distance. That can come down quite quickly. I did carry lights with me, but never had to use them yet. Sometimes the sea mist can be horrendous. So we're still on quite a slow drift here. It's running east to west. Just about right, this. Little bit of movement. But the actual tide has slowed up sort of midway through the ebb. I'm keeping an eye on. It's keeping an eye on both the rods. That one there and that one there. They're quite distinctive, those Plaice bites, so give it a good old rattle. And if you've got light line, they're a good hard fighting fish. Best of the flatfish for me around here, certainly better than dab and flounder. I'll keep a bit of a lookout for some of the boats. They're pretty good actually, these under 10s from Hastings. They can spot a kayaker. It's usually the pleasure boats that cause the problems, jet skis and things like that, but the commercials are good as gold really. So I think what I'm going to do is give it another 5 minutes, just do one more drift and then we're going to head in. So if I catch anything now, it's right at the last knock-ins. Just starting to feel a little bit tired. So I've got a few things to do. I need to get back in. Let's give it another 5 minutes, see how that goes. Fishing and filming, yeah.